Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Under Hood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Ford. My name is Phil Nightingale. Morning, Josh.
Good morning.
Josh, our service director, here to take your calls at 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, anything you don't understand or want to talk about new products. And Josh, we had some pretty awesome new product on our showroom this week, didn't we?
We
finally got to see to the public a full-size Bronco. So very cool in action, and our first courtesy transportation car, which we got to keep for 6 months, will be here next week, Josh. It's staying the 31st by the vehicle visibility situation, so it's close.
Okay. And do you know what that first one is?
First one is a silver, and I should know the trim level. I think it's a Badlands.
A Badlands.
4-door automatic.
Very cool.
And we got our first caller coming in, and it's Ron Finney with Renegade. And while Josh is getting Ron patched in here, Ron's calling in because there was a Facebook post put out there about the fuel barrels, and would love to talk about what's going on with those fuel barrels. It was posted out there, and Renegade, by the time I saw it, Renegade already had seen it and had made some posts about it, and then they called me and said, hey, love to get on the show and talk about what's going on with that picture and what did happen and all that kind of stuff too from that part. So we'll get Ron patched in here in just a few seconds and talk about the fuel barrels that Renegade had, plus the VP Renegade and all that stuff too. So good morning, Ron. This is Phil. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good this morning, Phil. Good.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. And I was kind of telling our listeners as we were getting started here that, we sell all of the different fuels in here from all the competitors. And it's just because everybody has their privilege of whether they like a Chevy, like a Ford. It's kind of like our used cars. We sell everything there too. We took on you guys here and representing Renegade very well. There was a Facebook post out there about the fuel barrels, and I think it needs some clarity, and I think you guys had already caught on to the post before I'd sent it to you. So I'm glad you guys are ahead of it and knowing what's going on with that, but appreciate you calling in today to talk about the fuel barrels and talk about that post and talk about what was going on with that situation so we can kind of let our listeners know what's happening with that situation.
Sure, Phil. Yeah, we appreciate the opportunity. And like I said, while we can't stop, things like that from happening and craziness and unfortunately people putting things out there that aren't exactly accurate, we can and will always take the time to educate our racers on the facts and assist them so they can make the best choices in their racing program. Like you said, there's a lot of choices. We want them to make the best choice for their program. So let's talk a little bit about what happened out there and what people are seeing on there. And basically somebody has taken two drums, and the unfortunate thing is if you look at the picture, the Renegade drum, you can see the label on the top, severely weathered. That thing has been sitting outside for a very long period of time. But here's the facts. So there are two types of drums. There's a line drum and an unlined drum. Each of them have their pluses and their minuses. So the line drums use a protective film on the inside to cover it, protect against oxidation. However, one of the things that we found over time is that liner is prone to cracking. And when that cracks, little flakes of it come off, can get in the fuel system, cause it to starve the engine for fuel. And in a race engine, that's the last thing we want, an engine to go lean under power, because that can really hurt stuff. The unlined drum, on the other hand, uses a proprietary rust inhibitor, which is sprayed on the inside of the drum to inhibit the oxidation. As we know, rust inhibitors are petroleum products, so it works very well with fuel because the fuel is a petroleum product. That way, there's no issue if the liner to fail. There's no liner to fail, and therefore we're not going to cause any fuel system issues. So that's the direction that we've chose to go at Renegade, and it's worked very well for us. Now, the unfortunate thing that the post doesn't talk about is the fact that, like any penetrator, whether it's WD-40, whether it's PV Blaster, or it's fuel or oil itself, when it sets, it's going to evaporate. So over time, with nothing in the drum, it's going to evaporate out, and the drum's metal, and we know that metal is going to oxidize. What's interesting is in that post is you notice that the other drum, which is a line drum, has rust in it at the bottom as well. And then if you look really close, you can see it and if listeners want to, zoom it in, get it on your computer, zoom it in, you'll see pitting in that liner. And that's exactly what we're talking about. That's the stuff that can come apart and get in your fuel system. And, we've chose to get away from that. And that's one of the reasons why at Renegade, you don't have to return the drums. We don't take them back and reuse them because we want to make sure our fuel goes out in a fresh drum and racers get the best fuel they can so that they can win on the weekend.
Yeah, very, very good comments there to help everybody understand that too, Ron. Let's go one step further on that too, because some of the comments I read on there was like, even if it is the situation of a rusty barrel, wouldn't a fuel filter pick that stuff up and not get it in your fuel system, or is it still small enough that it'll go through a fuel filter?
No, actually, that's an excellent point. And, unfortunately, they're pointing to the competitor's product of being, they think it's better, but that competitor, like all of us, recommends filtering the fuel. You always want to filter fuel because they know that, the liner can fail. We know that stuff can get into fuel. So we all recommend that you filter fuel. And you're exactly right. Using a good filter like a paint strainer or whatever, like most people recommend, doesn't have to be anything super expensive. Those are cheap, easy to get, and work extremely well. They're going to keep any particles out that would cause an issue with your fuel system. So, yeah, great point. You would, even if there was something in the drum, the filter is going to take care of it.
Yeah. Well, Ron, I really appreciate the time this morning. Really appreciate the clarity on what's going on with those barrels. And you made one of the good point is using a new barrel. You don't reuse the barrels and that kind of thing too. So it would take a long time for a new barrel to rust through on that kind of a situation too. So, it's things where we have competition out there in the marketplace and stuff like that. And I hate it when it's negativity and bashing another one buddy's product. And that's why I started off. We sell all three of the major fuels that go out there because we have every racer likes something different for his program. Excited to take on Renegade when we took it on here just a few months ago back to help the racers in this area that needs to get that loves Renegade, that we have it available for them and really a good inventory for them and everything else too. But out there, bastard, knocking down somebody else's product is not good. You need to show what's good for your product. And that's my two cents on that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate that. Always try to go out there and, we never bash our competition, but we try to educate everybody, give you the best information we can, give you the science behind it. And, and we feel confident people will make the right choice. And I think that's why the demand for our product is as high as it is. So really appreciate the time. And you guys have been great stewards of the Renegade product and moving a ton of product. We really appreciate that.
You bet. Glad to help. And Ron, anything new or anything at all with Renegade lately? Anything and any news or anything at all you want to share with the listeners while we're on the line here or anything, buddy?
Yeah, there's a couple things in the works. I can't release just yet or whatever, but we've got a couple of new products coming in. Some things we're working on to help the unwedded guys get with some product there on that side, but we'll stay in touch and we'll update you on there. But other than that, it's just been an extremely busy season, seeing a lot of racers. I just got off the Jeg Speed Week, and we put racers in the winner circle in Super Comp, Super Gas, and a couple of the other classes, and it's just been a great summer.
That's awesome. Anyway, Ron, thanks for taking the time explaining that post out there, and so everybody can have a good idea of what's going on with them fuel barrels and all that kind of thing. And I learned something on it every time I talk to you about something. I learned something more about fuel, not just about Renegade, but how things work and stuff like that. So I can't appreciate the knowledge and the time and the information that you give us to help us and help our racers more than anything to make their cars go fast. That's what we're after, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we're here for. And, just share with the racers and the listeners that anytime they have a technical question, whatever it's fuel related or oil related, don't hesitate to ask. That's what we're here for. You can reach us at 270-467-4221. That'll get you to me, and I'll do my best to get your questions answered so that you, again, can make those good choices for your program. Awesome.
That sounds great. Anyway, again, thanks for the time this morning. Really appreciate it. And let's keep the lines of communication open up and see who all we can help with what fuels they need and get them the right product and all that kind of stuff too. And like I said, every day I'm learning something more about your fuels and your products and stuff like that too. So really appreciate it very much.
Great, Phil. Thanks for having us on.
Have a great day, buddy. All right, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. Got a lot of people saying good morning on here. Matt, Vincent, James, Vincent, and Jim all say good morning, gentlemen. Everybody got some special listeners we need to talk about real quick, Josh.
Love the slogan, putting racers in the winner's circle.
It's pretty good, too. We got a couple special listeners with the watchers, I should say.
Right.
My mom was watching.
Oh, very cool.
And my niece, Sarah, and her two kids, Connor and Kate, are all watching live from Lee Summit, Missouri. So glad you guys are there watching. Got her online with us and stuff too. So
Good morning.
yeah. So maybe you guys need to call in the show with a question. How about that? All right. So anyway, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, whatever it might be. Let's get the phones ringing and let's talk about the new Bronco, Josh.
Yes.
Of course, you and I got to go down to Austin and go take it on the off-road course and had a blast with that. We really never have really talked about that, but because every time we turned around, we had somebody on the show.
It seemed like it was one thing after the other when we got back here for sure. So,
but we had the Bronco here for the training and had a lot of customers come in and go through the training too. I missed it because I took off to go to Charlotte, which we'll talk about that here in a little bit too.
Yeah.
But because you had same kind of experience too. But so did you set through into the training here by chance?
So I didn't sit through the training here. I was running 900 miles an hour. You know how that goes.
Sit on your desk, your feet up, and hang out. Yeah.
But just from the experience that we had down there, I mean, I went through quite a bit of that, and then there's a lot of web-based courses as Ford releases these new vehicles that you need to take or required to take, and there's just so many different features that this Bronco. I mean, it's made for off-road.
Yep.
It's made to I think of even like your GT500 and the experience that you had. You see these new vehicles come in and the changes that they make, and you think, oh, well, that's a neat feature. But then until you're actually in a situation where you get to apply what these vehicles are built for, it takes it to a whole nother level. And that Bronco has so many different things that it does and technology that they put in those vehicles that, I mean, I'm going to be honest that probably a large percentage of people are never even going to be able to experience just because they're not going to get in that environment with the vehicle. But it is mind blowing, the technology that they put in that Bronco for off-roading.
Yeah, I think the thing when you talk about the off-roading, part of it was that center button that you can push, and you can set the cruise control from a half a mile an hour, 1 mile an hour, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and that thing took off on an incline to climb all different kinds of rocks and stuff, and it knew how to apply which tire for grip, slipping,
for traction.
It knew what brake to apply just to keep you straight. You didn't have to steer the thing. It just drove right up that hill, went all over that thing. It was crazy.
So the other side of that is getting into something that you think, okay, well, now I've got myself into this situation and I'm not exactly sure how to get out, with the forward version of that. But then to have that same feature in reverse it was absolutely crazy, because I've personally done a little bit of off-roading.
Been a little trouble there in that time or two. Is that what you're trying to say, Josh?
And not necessarily had that. So I happened to go up to Colorado, and there was probably a group of 4 or 5 of us, and in different machines. And I was leading the way, and we come across a fork in the road.
Oh yeah. So you decided to go down the direction. Is that what you decided to do?
There was one that had no markings on it, and the other one had a yellow pole, and it had caution on it. It was yellow.
So it went anyway, right?
It was yellow, and it said caution. It wasn't red, and it didn't say danger. So
I about know where this one's going.
So we went that way because it wasn't it wasn't severe. It didn't seem severe. Well, anyways, we got into something, and I ended up having to back personally all 4 of those machines back down quite a ways because nobody else wanted to do it, and I was the one that chose the fork in the road.
So you had to do it.
Yeah, but anyways, the features that this Bronco has is just amazing when it comes to that off-road stuff for sure.
Yeah, that's my thing. And then the next thing I kind of also blew me away a lot was that's one thing Ford promised us is that the thing would be quiet inside and it would handle right and all kind of stuff. These Broncos down there already had 3,000 to 4,000 miles on them. And you got to remember, that's 3,000 or 4,000 miles of nothing but harsh. I mean, one time, Josh, we were going over those deals. I swore to God, water was going to come inside the Bronco.
Yeah.
So we're going through that kind of severe stuff. And then they have a course that we run them on. Of course, they wouldn't let us go very fast, but then we rode with them. But even that course, the 3,000 to 4,000 miles of harsh terrain, and that's all that 3,000 to 4,000 miles had been.
Done.
That Bronco was still quiet. It didn't squeak. It didn't rattle. The door still closed. Everything, it was still structurally sound and strong. What blew me away there too. Now let's flip sides here in a minute because we first started driving the Bronco Sport.
Yeah.
And I knew the Bronco Sport was a lot different. I mean, it's built off the Escape platform, but I knew what's the different because it drove so much different when I drove the Bronco Sport. And the instructor down there told us, he says, you're going to get a whole different definition of the Bronco Sport when we get done here.
All the respect for it, for sure.
And I'm telling you, I did.
I got to be honest. And when we went down to that course, and they included that as part of it. Of course, already, you know, the excitement was you wanted to be around the Bronco and touch the Bronco, and you know, actually get in it and drive it around. But then they kept throwing that Bronco Sport in front of us before we got to the actual Bronco, and you know, to start out with, it was disappointing. But then just to see what the capabilities of that thing was definitely enlightening. Yeah,
it was. So that the Bronco Sport blew me away. So then we took off and did all those different terrains and stuff with the full size Bronco. And I just tell you, it was cool to have it here for training. I missed out on that because different things going on and stuff too. But every salesperson said the training was awesome.
Yeah, probably for me the most eye-opening feature, I guess, that thing has is the sway bar disconnect. And allows.
Well, let's talk about that a little so people can understand what that is, Josh, because that blew me away. I heard about it, and then until I saw how it did it, blew me away.
Yeah, so Jeep actually has that feature, but the difference between what Jeep's feature is, and I don't know, I think they come up with it. It's pretty recent to Jeep, for sure. But the difference between what Jeep's is and what the Broncos is when Jeep, you have to have that disconnected, unloaded. So flat ground, everything like that, you actually have to disconnect it. But the Broncos version of it, one, it gives you more travel than what the Jeep offers. But then the second thing is you can be fully bound up and hit a button
and
unlock it, and your suspension, you get several more inches of travel in your suspension. I think you've got some videos of the vehicle literally sitting there teeter-tottering on a couple of wheels, 2 out of 4 of the wheels, and then you hit that disconnect, and you know the wheel just drops down, and it's like, wow, where did that come from? You know?
Yeah, when they demoed that, I knew what the kind of meant. I thought, what's this for? You know, 'cause I'm not an off-roader or anything else like that. But they put it in that bind, like you would say, and then hit that button, and you had it dropped that wheel down, and
made contact,
had traction, and off you went. And you know, that's the difference between, I believe it's the Wild Track and the Badlands. I think it's the Badlands has the sway bar disconnect and the Wild Track doesn't. And I didn't get it that much why people were choosing the Badlands over the Wild Track. I was thinking the Wild Track's the way to go. But I'm telling you, if you are a serious off-roader or whatever, you need the Badlands. There's just no doubt about that for that sway bar disconnect. And then when they actually laid it out there and show how it worked and everything, I mean, it's a little bit of a complex deal. But again, it has to be able to hold that weight and the tension when you do need it.
Yeah, for what it does, and then to be able to reconnect itself on the fly and stuff like that was very impressive.
Yeah. So anyway, I missed out on the afternoon training because I flew to Charlotte.
Yeah.
And Josh, you went a couple of weeks ago, or I don't remember, a month ago.
Probably about a month or so ago, but yeah, was down there.
And got to do some stuff with the GT350s. And you did a little bit different course than what I did because you did some wet traction and that kind of stuff and everything else too, but you still got to go on the
Roval,
Oval, or we should say Roval, Roval and stuff too. So anyway, Jake and I went down here.
Speedway.
Yeah, Jake and I went down there this week and got to drive the GT500s. And I keep telling everybody this too, is, you know, I've drove a lot of cars over my life, and you know, from Ferraris to Jags and all that kind of stuff. And I tell you, that GT500 is just a total package deal. And that's what Ford said when they come out with it, was going to be able to outpower the Hellcat, and it's not just going to go straight, it's going to turn left and turn right. Well, I knew the car when I had got it, and a little bit that I have drove with it, it would corner very well. But I got a whole new meaning of how that car will turn now, on what it's capable of and everything else. And the instructors down there at Charlotte, you know, got very well known those guys and everything else. And that's their thing is that they feel the GT500 is one of the best production cars out of the line. It will drive and do
assembly plant.
Yeah, will drive and go that good. And one of the instructors says it's almost too good for itself. But that 760 horsepower, those big brakes and everything, and you know, I was coming down the back straightaway. I looked down. I shouldn't have looked down. They told us not to look down, but I had to look. I wonder how fast
you wanted to know. Yeah,
it's 131, and then you hit those brakes, and you're down to 50 in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the harder you you know, like most cars, the harder you push the pedal, that you get the brake fade. There's no brake fade whatsoever.
So brake fade, and then also that weight transition too. Yeah. I was noticing that, you know, where it just doesn't feel like the weight shifts to the front like it does typically in a lot of cars.
Yeah, the one thing these instructors taught me more than anything, and I've never looked at it this way, but you got your contact patch of the tires. Say it's about an 8-inch square that's always holding you to the ground. And so as you accelerate, you lose traction to your front wheels, and all the traction goes to the back. But when you brake, all the traction goes to the front, and you lose traction to the rear. And thinking about that, he says, always just try to maintain to keep the contact patch the same when you're in the corner, off the corner, on the gas, and all that kind of stuff. And I wished I had about another 20 laps now that I knew that and learned that to get even better and faster going around that course. But it is true. And that Mustang, that GT500 will tell you, I mean, it is so crucial. I shouldn't say crucial. It's so easy to keep that way because of how good those brakes are and how much acceleration you have and everything. And there's a couple times, like you said, thinking Blue UA2, they're watching us because they're following you.
Yeah.
We're following them, and they're driving the course, watching in the mirror,
looking in the rearview mirror, telling you where you can improve, what you can do better, and everything like that. And you're like as focused as much as you can on just driving. And that was pretty impressive as well.
A couple times he'd holler back at me, "Hey, you're on the gas too much." And I would say, "Yeah, you know what? I don't know where I need to know where it's going to let loose too."
Yeah.
And the first couple times I went out, I didn't have they didn't tie me up with the right guy and driver behind me and stuff. And you switch every lap you switch who's behind the leader and stuff. And I told him that at the end. I says, yeah, I know I got out the back end coming around a couple times because the first couple times I didn't get the chance because the first time I'd going around, I told you 130 before I was only doing about 90 on the back straightaway because the other guy saw more he could handle or take care of, which I get. There's different levels of driving. But I did. I let her step out a couple times. But then we got to ride with those guys, and now that I rode with, I want to go again. Now that I saw how they did it,
how they were doing it, yeah. And so I think that was one of the last things we did too, if I remember
the power ride, the fast ride,
which I think there's a reason why they did it that way.
I'm sure there's too.
And just in using that car and that ability, you don't. Just day-to-day driving, you don't think about all the safety features that are put into that when you talk about the traction control and the limited slip and the
shock dampening and all that Magna Ride and all that.
Yeah. And to be able to go around that course like that, if you actually had to drive it, it's taxing on the driver just in the situation that you were in. But then if you eliminated all that other advanced traction control and stuff like that, I mean, it'd be very taxing.
Well, I thought about the NASCAR guys that drove around there, and first time we got to the track, Jake pointed out that, hey, this is a spot where Jimmy Johnson did his big spin and loop and everything else. So every time I went through, I kept thinking I was going to be
you were that guy,
yeah, but didn't. But so anyway, we'd go about 6 laps around that thing. And I'm going to tell you, after the 6th lap, I was wore out. So I'm thinking about how do these NASCAR guys, and you want to say the NASCAR guys aren't athletes? Crazy. They're hellacious athletes because to be able to hold that car and do that. And I'm only doing 130 and they're doing 180, 190 around that thing.
Yep.
In those cars and stuff too. But great time up there in Charlotte. Wished I had some more time, but we did talk to him. Jake and I are going to and do some more courses and stuff with those. A lot of fun. And
it was just a teaser is what that was. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is you're out there tearing up their cars. You're not tearing up your car.
Yeah.
That's the thing I liked about it.
Would agree with that.
Burn up their rubber, not my rubber.
And that's so on the drag side because you got to go on the drag strip too, right?
Yeah, it was. We started out doing quarter mile drags and then and I kind of knew what the car would do because we had Kelly Estes' car out on the drag strip and stuff, and we did not do the line lock correctly with Kelly's car when we were out there. And of course, Kelly went out after that, and he learned that too, and so I was launching at about 1800. I think I could have went just a little bit more from that part, but I did get it into 11. So I got 1198 out of it. So that was cool to get that part. And I can't wait to kick my car out of the KID and see what I can do with it. And I think it'll go faster because of the carbon fiber package and stuff too. So. And
then tires wise, do you remember what you were running up there? Or?
The BFGs.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, they didn't have the Cup 2s. They didn't have the Michelins on them.
Huh?
Yeah. So I know that's one thing. If you had the Cup, then as the other thing, you can, when you go back, you can pick where you want to do the regular BFG tires or the Michelin Cup tires. It just costs a little more.
Yeah, just
you know why? They're the tires. From that. So anyway, 316-462-3673. Also, hey, give us a like over on YouTube. We'd love you to follow us and like us over there. Subscribe to our channel. We're trying to grow some more more followers over there to do some more things with this show and everything else too. Anyway, James Furman, the Hush Nationals was awesome this year. Congratulations to Teresa Smith.
Yep.
Winning the 2021 Escape over there. And yes, it was some great racing. Got to thank C. Ray, Melissa, Scott Stiles, and Warren Hardy for the great job and all their crew that put on a great show over there. Murphy Tractor and Equipment went over there and dug that thing up, and I do believe it changed the track dramatically. We had a lot smoother straightaways than we've ever had, and from that part. So thanks to Murphy Tractor and Equipment, but thanks to Hutch Nationals, C-Ray and his gang put on a great show. We filled those stands, had a great time, and had some great winners of all the packages waving away. And then yesterday, Josh, we gave away Tanner Mullins won the most popular local driver. He won a driver's suit from Velocita. And then Brandon Massey and Dustin Ramey were tied for second. So it was supposed to be a helmet. And then the third place was to get some tires and fuel. So we just gave 2 helmets away.
Okay.
Instead of giving the third place away. And so those guys are here yesterday. We did a little video, put that out on Facebook, and congratulate those winners. So I think we've got everybody announced and done. But again, most importantly, thanks Teresa Smith for winning the 2021 Escape. She was the 10th winner. Josh, I didn't get to get up there because I was prepping the car and stuff.
I tell you, well, first of all, we got everybody collected up from the 5 finalists that we drew on Facebook, and one of them didn't show up, which I'm not sure, what happened there or whatever. So we drew 6 out of the stands.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah. So we got 6 out of the stands there, and then we got everybody rounded up, and we put all their names back in a hat, and drew how they were gonna, pick their key. Yeah. Select their key. And so we went through that, and man, I could just Teresa was the last one that got her name called, and when I was handing out the keys,
was she one of the original 5, or
she was drawn from the stands?
No, the stands. Okay,
yeah, drawn from the stands, and I could just see the disappointment in her face when she drew the last to get the key, and so I'm handing out the keys or whatever, and I get her letting them pick their key, and I get to the end, and I said, ma'am, we've seen this happen a couple of different times. Like, don't think that you can't win this thing. And just trying to pump her up a little bit and stuff like that. And so we started in on that. And as the person that cuts the key, you always want, you don't want it to be it is, it is, but you don't ever want to see it be the first one or the second one given away, just because of the excitement level for everybody else. But you just for sure don't want it to see it be the last, man. You get to about to me, the 6th or 7th key.
I'm
and
nervous.
I'm like, okay, now hold on. And we're in front of a pretty massive crowd, and I'm thinking, oh my good, this is not going to work. And then we're going to get booed, and it's going to be horrible. And so,
but it did start on the 10th key.
Yeah. And she was so pumped up, just even getting into the car, knowing that she was the last one with the key and stuff like that. And then it started, and it just like a whole nother level of excitement hit. And so it was a very good giveaway, and she did a phenomenal job there.
Yes. So anyway, we got a caller coming in, and we'll get him on the line here in just a few seconds. But again, thanks to C-Ray Hall, Warren Hardy, Melissa Powers, and Scott Stiles, and all the crew from NCRA. Thanks for a great show. Thanks for a great time. It was awesome. And some great racing and everything else there too. And the 50 lapper for the modifieds was intense for me, but it was fun. I want to do it again. Now we know what we're doing, and got it through the first time, and love to try that thing again. I know a few things I do differently again and stuff too, but it is what it is. That's part of a learning process too. So are we ready for a caller, Josh?
We've got Jordan on the line. Jordan, you're live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Do you want me to just point it out, or do you want to go ahead and bring it up, Josh?
I did actually get a haircut, so it is hot.
It is a fresh haircut.
It is high and tight, and I did it just for this phone call this morning. So yes, I've got it. But thanks for noticing.
So you knew it was coming.
I did. I went home last night, and my wife didn't even notice. But I appreciate you noticing.
How about that, Jordan?
And the second I turned it on, I said, that is a fresh haircut. That is a show pony.
There you go.
So,
what are you up to today, buddy?
Super Duty again.
Okay. What'd you do? Push another rock over or something?
No, not this time. Now,
sounds like you need a new Super Duty.
I know. I'm going to let you guys sell me one, but I have to wait till the wrap fades off because I don't. Either way, here's what I got now. I'm at an intersection. It runs clean. Everything's fine. But when I stop at an intersection, it's whoa, 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 whoa. So like, I don't know if I got a little too sauced last night and I put a cam in this thing and don't remember it, or I don't know what that is. But it sounds like it's sitting there loping on the cam. Just whoa, 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 whoa.
How's that again?
Well, what's that? Look at that.
How was that again? One more time.
Just like that.
I'll let you have that
You
one,
know.
Josh.
I was trying to remember, is that a gas engine or is it a diesel?
5.4 Triton, baby. Best
Five-
motor Ford ever made.
Okay, so 5.4, and it's just sitting there at an idle is when you're experiencing that.
Yep, cleans right up when I take off. But at the sitting there at the intersection, it just started yesterday. So this is a brand new problem.
And it doesn't matter hot or cold or
Nope.
Okay, is it drive okay as you accelerate and everything?
Absolutely cleans right up.
Yeah. I'm wondering
Just sitting there has a rough idle.
I'm wondering if if carbon would be one thing that I would wonder about from that side. The other thing, a bug like on a mass airflow sensor or something along those lines. Any check engine light or anything associated with this?
Oh yeah, I mean it's an 04. The dash is lit up like a Christmas tree.
That's what I was just before you could spit that out. I bet that thing's lit up for everything, isn't it?
So
yeah, I mean it's an 04.
Carbon on
and
the
it's been driven by me.
yeah.
No, that's the second worst thing.
So carbon on the throttle
Right.
body. The other thing I'd wonder about is like a bug on the mass airflow sensor. If it just kind of started happening all at once, would be another thing that I would wonder about.
I'm thinking the nut behind the steering wheel got loose.
It could be a little loose. So.
That's my joke. That's my joke. You know you stole that from me. I texted you that yesterday.
I know you didn't.
So,
Nice.
but
Real nice.
hey, let's get that thing in here. We'll get you a diagnosis on it and see what's going on.
I know. I
with it
need to
for you.
do that.
We need to
because
get
I'm
it.
still dying from the AC.
You're gonna just fade through summer is what's gonna happen.
Right. All right. Well, you guys have a good day, good weekend. I'll bring her in on Monday.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
Thanks, Jordan.
All right. Thank you.
All right, 316-462-3673. Hey, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, battery? You know what, Josh, we didn't talk about? What's in the package?
We didn't. Yeah, we
got too excited. We had Ron from Renegade on here to talk about the fuel barrels and that terrible post was out there and everything else too. So it goes back to don't always believe everything you read, right?
Yeah, for sure. So for calling into the show, you want to talk about tires, brakes, check engine light, anything ailing your car, anything like that, we're going to send you out a package, but it'll consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products here at Mel Hambelton Ford. While we're doing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related components of the vehicle, just making sure that it's ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll also get $10 to Mel's Diner, so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're here with us at the Big Corner, as well as complete nitrogen for your tires. So you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer. And then BG Products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
All right, for every caller, that's what you get. And who knows, might get a diagnostic package on top of that too. So 316-462-3673. We'll get you on the line here and get that great package mailed out to you after the show from that part. So let's see, Josh, just kind of recap a little bit. We had
talked about the Hutch Nationals,
which was very fun, very cool over there. And we've talked about the Bronco.
The giveaway that the Escape giveaway that Teresa Smith won. But then we also have another giveaway coming up here before too long.
We do? What am I forgetting?
You got another Escape that we're going to be giving away.
We are headed to the hospice again. This is going to be our 10th year over in Hutchinson. August something. Godly.
I think it's I want to say it's like the 20 something, 26th maybe.
We should know that date, Josh.
Actually, no, it's not the 26th.
I think it is the 26th, the Thursday, the 26th.
Yeah. But anyways, we
have another Escape we're giving away over there.
For Hospice of Reno County.
And they're selling tickets right now for that situation. And then here I can tell you I know how I can tell you the date because I'm going over on a Monday morning to get on the show where we'll pick the first winners.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be the 19th. It's August the 19th.
I thought it was.
So the 16th of August on that Monday morning at 7:30, we will announce, I believe it's 4, maybe 5 for the first winners. For those keys.
Okay.
And then we will pick the other 5 that night at the event. So you don't want to miss out on that. Another way to get an Escape, if you missed out on the one we gave away at the Hutch Nationals, you got another chance there is jump on the Reno County Hospice webpage. You can buy them through there, or you can go see their office there at 17th in Lorraine.
Mhm.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
And buy some tickets there for that car. We'd love to have you get involved with that one and see if you can win another car. And we're giving away a lot of cars, Josh.
We are trying to keep track of the buckets of keys.
You got them all dialed in?
That one I do. Yeah.
That one you do. So another car giveaway coming up. You missed the one we gave away at the Hutch Nationals. There's another chance to drive in there too. We got another escape going August the 19th. So you got time to buy tickets right now. Just go in the Reno County of Hutchinson's webpage or stop by their office or whatever and buy some tickets. And I wish I knew how much they were, but I don't. It's like, I think it's one for 26 for 100.
Yeah,
I think it was
it was $20 for one ticket. I do remember that much, but then I think they had a bulk pricing there, and then so. But we got that giveaway. Then we've also the fire suit.
Yes, Tanner Mullins again won away with the most popular local driver with the boats we had. He got a fire suit, and Jeremy Massey and Austin Ramey tied for second. So they were supposed to be a helmet, some tires, and fuel for second and for third when we decided to give those guys helmets. And I will tell you what did happen. Austin Ramey didn't need a helmet, so he turned around and I love what he did. He turned around and took the money, the same value of the helmet, and he ended up getting a Hans device. I was excited for that, for a good safety feature that he needed. And he still had some money left over, so he got a couple tires. So congratulations to those three gentlemen on our most popular driver awards through the Facebook post and everything else like that too. So thanks everybody that voted for that.
And then we've got the truck and trailer, the parts trailer is up at Topeka this weekend.
There, NHRA races and stuff.
They left up there, went Wednesday. Last week we were in Denver. Or was it last week? Or
it was last week. We were in Denver too,
because we were at Denver up there. Got a lot going on the MH Ford racing side, and trying to get all these races in. While the weather's good and it's the season, trying to hit as many of those as we can for sure.
Anyway, Scott Stiles wants to know about Charlotte. Scott, you're just a little bit late, but I'm going to tell you it was incredible. I knew that GT500 was a beast from a little bit that I have drove mine and everything else too, but to finally put it on the track and show it what it will do, it was crazy. I mean, that thing is unbelievable what it will do. The instructors told us that the car is too good for itself. Several of the instructors told me that car is probably the best production car they've ever driven of all the racing careers and all that kind of stuff coming off production. Of course, most of the cars they drive are highly modified and everything else like that too. But Scott, it was a phenomenal time. Jake and I are going back for a little bit more training and stuff and more time behind the wheel from that part. So we talked to those guys. I'm going to go back here in the near future. Josh, we got to get a crew and just go.
Really, being at those events is very cool. But I've always, it would be nice if you were with a class of drivers that was similar to your skill set, whether that's further advanced or still coming up, and you get a limited amount of time, and then if you get one way or the other, you really don't get as much out of the program as opposed to if you were with somebody that had very similar skill sets.
Yeah, and it was, but to take that thing down the drag strip and of course, like I said, I knew what it would do down the drag because we'd taken Kelly Esses's down the drag strip, but then after us driving and then riding with the instructor, I just wanted one more chance after that. Now I saw how they did it, saw what they did and all that kind of stuff and where they'd go. Turn me loose is what I'm going to tell you. So, and this is another thing is that facility at Charlotte.
Yeah.
Bruton Smith owns that. I guess he owns 14 tracks. I'd hate to be in his shoes, but he was there that day. He was there.
Oh, really?
Yes, he was there. But the drag strip was the first 4-lane drag strip ever in the country. Now Vegas has got it.
Yeah, I had seen that, and it just blew me away on just the whole facility looked very nice.
Oh, everything's perfect. Groomed, manicured, but every type of racing is there. You got the drag strip.
Yeah.
You got the NASCAR oval, then you got the NASCAR roval, then you've got a dirt facility that looked just phenomenal. They got a little bitty go-kart track over there.
Yep.
But any type of racing you want to do, you can do it right there at Charlotte. I don't care what kind of a fan you are or whatever.
So when you were driving around, like all the terrain, did they explain? So that was a landfill.
Yes, that place was a landfill.
I mean, that is just crazy. So nobody wanted the dirt when it was done, and some guy's like, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to make some money at this deal." So bought it for nothing, built a massive track out there.
Okay, Scott says he wants to be our crew member. Well, can you change tires, Scott? We need to know that because we got to get a gun running when we get there because we're going to burn up enough tires. We're going to have to help him change tires. I can tell you that.
So that was going to be my next question to you, or one of the things that I want to talk about is at the Nationals there, you had the opportunity at halfway through to change tires. So at 25 laps, you didn't do it.
No, I didn't. I was ready
though.
Yeah,
you were ready.
I was ready.
And I don't know if it was psychological messing with the other drivers or what, but I think you had the stand out there and everything, or to the lift out there and everything to get the car in the air and all that stuff. But I didn't know, would you have done it different now, knowing what you know as far as how the outcome was and everything like that?
Well, track conditions means a lot too.
Yeah.
And my driver means how it's going to be. And,
sure.
I used Buddy Mullins and Tanner Mullins instructions, because they, no one's won more races over than those two guys combined, but no one's won more of those big races than Buddy. And I used Buddy's strategy into how to do it. And my real problem was, he said, you can't slide the car, you can't slide the car, can't slide the car, and getting Jake not to slide the car.
Yeah.
Well, the first 25, Jake did a phenomenal job, but I was scared to death he wasn't going to. That's why I had my stand out there ready to go. I came with 2 sets of tires, so no matter what we needed to do, I'll back that up. I took 6 tires out there in case we had a flat in between somewhere from that part. Came in after 25, and Jake did a phenomenal job of maintaining the tire. So we didn't have to change.
Yeah.
But I was worried he was not going to be able to calm it that much, and he did. He did a phenomenal job in the first 25. And where the mistake that I made was, I should have turned him loose after the first 25 and let him go, but I held him off to lap 15 So lap 35, and I let him go on the last 10 is what I did. And I should have not done that. I should have turned him loose a little earlier. Cole Truitt, congratulations to him. He's one of our teammates who were running a Mullins chassis too. Of course, it was a great night for Mullins, finishing 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
From that part. But
what impressed me overall is at the end of the deal, seeing the tires after all 50 laps.
Jake can still run a heat race with that tire on the right rear.
Yeah. I mean, there was quite a bit of tire left on the end of that thing for sure. And if
I'd have turned him loose on all 25 of the last 25, which is what I wished I'd have done now. But again, track conditions could change that too next time.
Sure.
And what the track's doing to the tires and all that kind of stuff too. But it was still a phenomenal fun. It was exciting. It was intense. The adrenaline was running. Everybody got excited about it. And there's a video out there. I can't remember who posted it now. They come walking through the pits there where it was going on, and listening to all the crew members and everybody talking and everything else too. And you're right. I had the jack ready. I had everything ready to go. And I'm going to tell you, when we come in, I didn't think we was going to change, but I was ready to go. And of course I was ready for a flat too. If we had to have a flat, which tire was going to go where and all that kind of stuff. And again, Scott talking about my crew members. I had a good crew out there with Alan and my nephew Ben and Mike Sheridan and Jeremy and Joe
was there. Yeah.
So I had enough crew members to make sure we did. We had 4 impacts. We had it ready to go, whatever we needed to do.
Yeah, making the 5 minutes, I don't think would have been a struggle at all.
We've timed it already, and we could, when the car came in and stopped, jack went up, 4 tires on and down. We were done. Me, Jeremy, and Mike timed it and did it, and we did it in 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
So we knew he was okay there, and I had my gas man Alan out there on the gas can getting it ready to go and everything else too. From that part. But Ray, thanks for having a 50 lapper, because that was fun. It was exciting and everything else too from that part. But can't wait to do it again.
And so I was talking with Jake a little bit last night about it, and it just seems like he favors the lower end of the track for sure all the time. And I don't know if it's just where he feels most comfortable, but he was also explaining, the difference in the gearing of the car, and especially in that track with how wide it is, how much difference the running the top of it is versus the bottom, and how that car's set up and stuff like that. It's just, there's just so much that goes into that.
Well, it's true. If you're going to run the bottom or you're going to run the top, you got to have a gear change in that track. There's no way around. You can't run the same gear and run the same spot where you're going to be on the track. And Ray made those corners so much nicer, so much bigger and wider with this year with Murphy tractor and equipment and everything else too. So it was usually that track's a 1-lane track, but this time it wasn't, because you had guys running high, or I shouldn't say high, they were running kind of the middle, in the lower groove of that deal. But Jake ran the low side of that, really preferably, just so we wouldn't have to slide those tires as much and everything else from that part. But no, I can't thank the Murphy tractor and equipment and those guys, and Ray and all the crew members that put all those hours on that track, flipping it over, getting it back, and putting her back to shape and everything else. We went over to shoot that commercial. Lisa was kind of freaking out, but I knew it was no big deal. What the track looked like and everything.
How tore up it was.
From that part. But it was just the adrenaline was running, the excitement level was running.
Had a really good crowd too.
Had a great crowd over there, and just wish we could race there more than one time a year.
The weather worked out too. I mean, that day it
rained in the morning. That was perfect. And I had a lot of people call me, it's going to be over. It's going to be over. And I think it was 12 o'clock, 12:30. C-Ray called me and I could hear
He says, we're
grader.
running.
He's on the grader. I'm on the grader. I'm going. I said, I knew it was. I said, Josh pulled out his high powered radar thing and we knew the weather was gone. And so didn't have to run the water truck as much as what all that amounted to. So
saved a little fuel.
Exactly. So it was, again, lots of fun, a lot of excitement over there. Can't thank the town of Hutchinson a lot for, doing that. And Vincent Rose to Phil, I thought you were driving the car. No, Vincent, that was my son Jake driving the race car, not me. I haven't been behind the wheel of a race car like that since I think it's 93, something like that. So you can't that wasn't me behind it. I'm scared that Jake begged me to get in that car, and I know why I won't get in that car.
Oh, that'd be expensive.
Yeah,
there'd be two.
Well, of course, I'd look like an idiot too. That's why.
Well,
because it is a different driving car, and he's talking to Johnny Allen from the days of the solid rear axle and a leaf spring and 2 coil shocks in the back, and how these cars are now. And he says it is a totally different deal. How you drive the car and what you do, and like I said, I drove 4 laps or 5 laps when I was out there in Charlotte, and I was wore out. From that part, but. Again, good time over in Hutch and good time with everybody. And again, thanks to Teresa Smith for being the winner of our Escape. Couldn't ask for a better winner and stuff. She come over on, I think it was Thursday, and got her paperwork, got all that done, and got her 60-day tag put on her for her and everything else too. So we'll get her title. Get her tag for her and all that good stuff for her and everything else too. So she's in good shape for a while driving that car, and she'll be a good representative of Mel Hambelton Ford over there in Hutchinson, cruising around in your Escape.
So you, in the beginning of the show, we talked about with Renegade about the fuel barrels, different there. And I guess I didn't see the post, but I'm assuming it was just a matter of rust and whether there's you need lining in your fuel barrel or not. Basically penetrant oil.
Basically, it was a post showing a BP fuel barrel cut in half and a Renegade fuel barrel cut in half, and that showed rust all over in the Renegade deal. And like I said, I understand if you're going to cut one apart and show and compare them and all that kind of stuff, but let's have a good comparison. Let's do a fair comparison. Let's don't bash one or the other and don't make it an unfairable deal. Well, it's like Ron said, that barrel of the Renegade's been open for 3 years.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, Renegade doesn't reuse their fuel barrel, so you're in good shape. And again, if you've got a fuel filter, a decent fuel filter, it's going to filter all that stuff out of there anyway from that part. And again, it's a fine line we run here because we got racers that love Sunoco, we got racers that love VP, and we got racers that love Renegade. And I just it's no different than the American racer in the Hoosier.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big Hoosier fan because we're the distributor for Kansas, Colorado, and Nebraska. But you know what? I know there's racers out here that got to run the American racer, and we're going to sell those too. And let's go to Hoosier and the drag side. There's guys that love Mickey Thompson. And we got the Hoosiers. I want them to be on the Hoosiers, but there's guys that love the Mickey Thompson, so we sell the Mickey Thompson also on top of that. So it's the same difference to these fuels out there, where for what's good for your program. And I think when we didn't have Renegade, we were missing helping a few of those guys in the drag race side that loved the Renegade fuel. And Nick Roberts is one of them and works in our race side.
Yeah,
loves the Renegade fuel for his drag car. Okay, I love the VP fuel for my dirt track car. So
it depends on your application, your build. There's so much that goes into producing these cars, and it's a matter of getting that combination that just works. Exactly, and being able to fine tune it and figure that out for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, just a few minutes left in the show. 316-462-3673. Hey, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, battery? You want to talk about anything in MH Ford Racing? Question about race cars, anything whatsoever? The new Bronco. Love to talk to you about too. Hey, Josh, one other thing we haven't talked much about is our new Maverick. It's a new subcompact pickup, a little bit smaller than the Ranger.
Yep.
So we got 3 levels of pickups again, which is the Maverick, F Ranger, and then F-150. And we're taking orders right now on the new Maverick and got about 30 of them in there already. If customers come in already pre-sold, order them up. So if you want to check out the Maverick, jump on Ford.com and but then come in and check out the dimensions and things we have. It's very cool. But
any idea on timeline on that thing?
Let's back up a little bit and talk about timelines of stuff and these chips and the vehicles that are still sitting out there waiting on these chips to get there. And I think they're going to finally shipping a few vehicles without the chips and sending them to us. Haven't got final confirmation of that either. This is crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my 40 years in the car business. Josh, we usually got 800 to 900 new cars sitting here, and I think we got 30.
Yeah.
From that part, and it's just it's a tough deal. But the cars, as they come in, we're selling them just as fast as we can get them in here. But the chip thing is still, they're telling us we're at the bottom end of it now. We're coming up out of the hole from that part. So now the Maverick, that's the same kind of a situation. The chip deals kind of held it back a little bit. If the chip thing hadn't happened, we'd already had the Maverick here.
Really?
We'd had some more Broncos here. We'd have had a ton of F-150 sitting here from that part too, from that standpoint. So the chip thing is a disastrous and terrible, but we're coming out of the hole, and these chips are coming from that part. And there's so many stories out there, from that plant burned down in Taiwan to where the plant that makes the powder that is behind getting the powder for the chips and everything else. I don't know what the real story is. All I know is we need these chips so we can sell these cars. And get them built and everything else too. But it's not just the car market. I mean, it's every manufacturer of the cars, but it's everybody that has any kind of electronic issue is fighting these chips, all the way from my neighbor that runs, Corey McGreevy, that runs Kansas Golf and Turf. He's fighting for his golf carts. I talked to my buddy Greg Bryan at Best Buy. He's fighting on all electronic parts they've got there too. So it's a mammoth thing, and it's a vicious circle that's killing a lot of things, jobs and income and everything else too, from that part, from people from that standpoint.
So I didn't know, down the road, with a limited number of run of vehicles for a 21-year model, if that's going to make those vehicles more valuable, especially when you get into like a specialty vehicle, like a GT or, the GT500 or a Raptor or something along those lines, just because of the limited number of vehicles.
Well, so that's just it too. We were promised, I usually get about 20 Raptors a year, and we're going to get 11, but so far we've only built 3. And I don't even have a scheduled production date on them yet either. So kind of tough deal on that. On the Raptor side, can't wait to see what that 21 Raptor looks like, what it does, how much they've improved it. They've got a new 37-inch power package. I can't remember, but it comes out instead of 35-inch tires, you got 37-inch tires on it, and a different shock package and stuff too. And so it's going to be kind of fun to see that too when it gets here. That's one of the first ones getting built, I hope.
The interior in these new F-150s is just, every time I get in one, I still find features and functions that are amazing for sure.
Well, us driving these cars and stuff, Josh, and we're all driving used cars right now instead of new ones. But a couple weeks ago, there was a few F-150s out there. So I said, well, if someone gets to drive one, it's got to be me.
Well, there you go.
So I jumped in, of course, as soon as I just drove home and back and gone home a couple times and gone. Now I'm back in that used one. And I'm telling you, it is night and day difference from a 20 to a 21 on how much better they are, how much more feel there is, the quietness, the power, the electronics, the technology, the way it drives. It's just night and day. I can't believe that makes change in 1 year. You don't catch it until you go back.
Yeah,
and jump in one of those other ones.
The power boost, as soon as we get one of them things, it's gone. So it'll be exciting to see how that plays out for sure. And
that's where I think the first year they told us there was going to be about 10% of the F-150s would be the power boost. So if they make 800,000 F-150, so we got about 100,000 of those coming. So I don't know where that number is going to lay out now with all the chip shortage and stuff too from that part, but I sure hope that they've got the commodities and the parts and everything. We can build some more of those, because that is the hot ticket. That's what everybody wants, is that power boost. And I'm going to tell you what I really think it is. It's because it's fuel economy. When I had one, I'd get about 5 miles a gallon better in town, but the power, oh my God.
Yeah, you get the advantage of the electric torque right off the start, and then the turbos once they get spooled up, and you're working on that too. So I really do think it's going to be like the EcoBoost was to us back in 10 and 11 and stuff. It's just a game changer, really. That EcoBoost engine, the durability that it's shown and what it's brought to the market is there's nothing that compares to it.
And then like I said, we got the Maverick coming. I'm going to say September, October. I for sure will know what happened by then. But then the next thing's coming is that new Lightning F-150, 100% electric truck. And can't wait for that either. I think that's going to be very cool and stuff too. Can't wait to drive one of those things. I'm sure I hope they have a driving like we did for the Bronco or whatever for those, but who knows?
For that deal, yep. What is it? The end of August or something? They're doing that, the Ford deal. I wonder if they'll surely probably have a Maverick there. I would guess. I don't know. If maybe
I'm
a
sure.
Lightning.
I hope they have a Lightning there too. Yeah.
Be cool to see that. So.
Yeah. Good morning, Ronnie. Ronnie Smith there saying good morning. Ronnie, checking in here at the last few minutes. Good to see you on your show here, buddy. Anyway, let's do a recap, Josh, because we're about finished up for the day with another hour flown by like it has. And again, can't thank NCRA, C. Ray Hall, Scott Stiles, Warren Hardy, Melissa Powers, all the gang from NCR. You did a heck of a job over there in Hutchinson. And congratulations to Teresa Smith on the winner of the 2021 Escape. congratulations to all the winners that won the 2 tickets and either the 5 gallons of race gas or the 20 gallons of QT gas.
Long term, who got what
on the gas.
Oh, yeah.
I think, me and Lisa kind of split them duties up a little bit because how busy we are and stuff like that. I personally only gave away out of the 15 one race gas. And I think Lisa gave away 1 race gas. So most of it was all QT gas.
The quick trip ones.
Quick trip ones too. And updates of Ranger coming. Yeah, Greg, they're coming. They're just, it's like everything else. It's real slow from that part too. So they're coming, Greg. And then congratulations to Tanner Mullins on the most popular driver for the local driver. He got a fire suit from Velocita. And Mr. Massey and Mr. Ramey for the winner of the 2 helmets. We tied for second for the most votes. So we just gave them both helmets. And then Austin, he turned around and traded that in for a Hans device, which is cool. And a couple tires to offset the cost difference from the helmet and stuff too. So from that part. So just congratulations to the winners. It was a great time over there. I can't believe it's over already. Seemed like we just started planning it and boom, here it was. And boom, here it's over.
It went very fast. That's for sure.
And everything else too. Morning, Adam. How are you, buddy?
Don't forget to get registered. Yeah, don't forget to get registered for the escape giveaway for the hospice,
right.
Reno County Hospice.
Yeah. Morning, Toby. Toby's on there too. Sorry, I missed up a few comments coming up through there too. But once again, just can't thank everybody enough for watching. Thanking everybody for the great time we had at the Hutch Nationals. If you missed the Bronco, jump on our Facebook page. You can kind of see some of the pictures and videos and stuff of the things we took of the new Bronco when it was here for training.
And you think one will be here this next week?
By the vehicle visibility, I checked it again yesterday, and it says July 31. So I hope it's off, and I hope it's here. Not it's rolling here on a Saturday because it gets here sooner than that. So we should have our first demo here this week, and that vehicle is here to drive. We have to keep it here for 6 months. We're going to have 3 coming. This first one is a silver 4-door automatic. The second one is a cyber orange 2-door manual, and the third one is a 4-door cactus gray. And those 3
manual,
yeah. So those 3 have to stay here for 6 months. That's just part of the program. So we have a Bronco to show you because right now, if you ordered a Bronco, I'm going to tell you you're a year and a half out.
Yeah,
to order one or whatever from that part. It's just how many orders we have in the system and kind of where we're at in the late start we got with the chip program and everything else too. But if you're still looking for a 4-door Bronco, the best thing to do is jump on our webpage and tab over into the new vehicles and a tab there that says order your Bronco. Fill that out and get a reservation. And right now we can't order any 22s yet. Once the order bank opens up, then we can go ahead and open that up and order the 22 model year. We've got about 20 high 20s sitting there that are taking the chance, not taking a chance, but waiting on a 22. Ford is promising
see if different options or something.
Yeah, they're also promising that a 2.7, the bigger motor, will be available with the manual transmission. So a couple of my people waiting on that sort of thing, but there's a top issue, and I've seen the top finally that's on hold, and I get why people want that. So people are waiting on that fancier top. But I'm going to tell you, the accessory program is going to be available for this Bronco is going to be crazy for all the different things we're going to have available for the to add on to personalize to make it your Bronco and everything else too. So, but anyway, Josh. Can't think of anything else. Any quick specials coming out of service or anything for this month? Of course, the month's about over. Can't believe July's almost gone.
July's about over, but they do have rebates out on tires. There's, I think, 8 of the manufacturers have a mail-in rebate on tires, and it's up to like $70 on the rebate. And then they're the Ford Pass rewards. If you take it back on your Ford Pass account instead of taking the mail-in rebate, it gives you just a little bit more. I think it makes it like $110 or $120 rebate instead of just the $70. And that goes through the end of July. Then I think they take a break in August, and there'll be some new specials come out in September from there through Ford. So
okay. All right. Well, everybody, again, thanks NCRA, C-Ray, Scott, Warren, Melissa for all the great and all your crew that put on a great show at the Hutch Nationals. Had a great time over there. Congratulations to Teresa Smith on the win in the car. Check out our Facebook page for all the Bronco pictures and all the stuff we got there. Our first Courtesy Transportation Bronco will be here at the end of the next week. Come in and take it for a test drive. Come in and check it out. That's what it's here for. And a couple others right behind that too. We got a couple sort orders that are in shipping too, Josh. So we're going to start seeing quite a few Broncos roll in here. I shouldn't say quite a few. I should say a couple.
They'll be rolling in. How about that?
They'll be rolling in. So anyway, everybody, hey, have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next Saturday.